Hey there, good morning everybody. Gulf Coast meteorologist Jim Dickey here with another edition of Tropics Talk here on this Tuesday, September the 23rd. Suddenly busy out there in the tropics, so let's get right to it. We of course have our one-name storm, Hurricane Gabrielle. Two areas we're watching for potential development, two invests, as they're called from the Hurricane Center, south of Gabrielle. We begin with Category 4 Hurricane Gabrielle, though a healthy-looking hurricane on the satellite presentation. Look at that, very well-defined, clear circular eye. 140-mile-per-hour sustained winds, moving to the north and east at 13 miles per hour. You can see some wobbles in the eye as we go forward here. You're also noting that the western side is starting to get sort of eroded away. These clouds streaking off the east coast, marking some wind shear. It'll be picking up around Gabrielle as we go through the day today, and I do think that will force the storm to weaken going forward. So the forecast calls for this has likely peaked intensity-wise and will weaken going forward from here. You take a look at the forecast cone, down to 130 by later on today, down to Category 3 early tomorrow, Category 2 early Thursday. Let's zoom in here. By the time we get to Friday, this is going to be in very close proximity to the Azores, a potential direct impact to the Azores from a much weaker Gabrielle, but at the very least, hurricane impacts possible for parts of the Azores as that swirls by. And then we get into Saturday and Sunday, and we're talking a potential still tropical storm sort of paralleling the coast of Portugal. Now, the latest model runs mainly keep the center offshore, but could bring some wind and rain there, too. Again, nothing like what the storm is right now, but as a much weaker entity into coastal Europe as we go into early next week. Now, along with Gabrielle, two what we call tropical waves that we're watching here. Not tough to pick them out, these two clusters of thunderstorms, and that's all they are right now. There's very little organization that you can see from this. This is Invest 94L. And you can see storms sort of fading away to the south. It was looking fairly intense overnight. I'm not seeing much rotation in the cloud pattern with this. Let me go ahead and loop this again for you. This one here, perhaps a little more rotation associated with it under the broader thunderstorm activity, but also looking fairly ragged and disorganized here this morning. Neither appear to be on the verge of being named tropical depressions, but both have pretty decent development chances per the latest update from the Hurricane Center. The easternmost system, which is going to follow a path somewhat similar to Gabrielle, has a 90% development chance. This one, Invest 94L, has a 60% development chance, and that's once it lifts towards the Bahamas and tracks to the north and west from there. Let's take a look at some of the models are saying here. Interesting setup in that there's two systems so close together. Some models suggest that one could sort of win out over the other, that perhaps both develop. I do think the key here is as we go forward in time, neither appear to be a threat to Florida. So this is by Friday. Note the rain off the east coast of the U.S. That's a cold front, and that sort of puts the shields up for Florida. It brings a kick out of the south and west, steering flow-wise. You see where we are. This is by Friday evening. Our leading disturbance moving towards the Leeward Islands here, that is sort of what's taking over, and it only has, the GFS that is, one primary feature. Sort of it has the two coalescing into one entity as we get into early next week. It does have it as a fairly powerful low pressure area near Bermuda at that point in time. And I don't think that's out of the question. We could see sort of the two coalescing into one and then sort of shooting the uprights between the U.S. and Bermuda and tracking out to the north and east from there. But different scenario playing out in the European forecast model. We go forward in time on this one. You have your two separate low pressure areas. A closed isobar here over the Bahamas. That would be 94L. And then a couple of closed isobars with a more well-defined low-pressure area north of the Leeward Islands. That would be 93L. This is by 11 o'clock Friday evening. Note what it does as we go forward in time. It drifts that weaker low-pressure area northward, already enhancing some rain over the Carolinas, and it brings that sloppy system right into North Carolina into early next week. Meanwhile, it has a full-on hurricane with 93L, that is, out there north of the Leeward Islands. There you go. You have your sloppy system, perhaps a tropical storm moving on shore in North Carolina. Monday into Tuesday, it has a powerful hurricane west of Bermuda. Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening. So which scenario wins out? They both very much in play right now. So this is sort of a wait-and-watch scenario at this point in time. I do think folks along the East Coast should be paying close attention to what's going on here with these storms over the next couple of days. At the very least, in the Carolinas, Virginia, there is the potential we could be talking some heavy rain and the potential for flooding from that first wave that works its way through. And again, I do think both will stay east of Florida. I don't think we're talking direct impacts here in southwest Florida from either storm system. If names get taken off the board, the next two on the list would be Umberto and Imelda. As again, we've suddenly turned pretty busy out there in the Atlantic, so be sure you're staying tuned on what's going on out there in the tropics. Of course, any changes, we'll let you know about that on the various platforms of Gulf Coast weather. Until next time, I'm meteorologist Jim Dickey. Have a great day.